Phew! We reached the end of April, and it was a busy month. From the baker's dozen worth of seeds that we planted this month to the replantings, whether it was to make up for crops that didn't quite survive or to start second helpings of our vegetables. So it was a busy month, so let's go take a look and see how things are doing in the garden. These sugar beets still coming along fine, looking like they're growing. They're putting out their first set of true leaves, and all the way down the line looks like they're doing good. So the onions are doing really well, and it's time to give them a haircut. As you can see, this one's gotten really tall. So what I'm going to do is, just like we did when we first planted them indoors, I'm going to cut them in half. Supposedly this will help the bulb up and swell. So I think it's like when it's like 6 inches tall, you cut it in half, and then you let it grow to about 9 inches tall, then you cut it in half, and then when it's about a foot tall, you cut it in half again, and then you let it grow out from there. So I'm going to start the process now, just using a regular pair of scissors. I'm going to come over. The blades have been cleaned with alcohol, so I'm not transferring any diseases onto the plants, and I'm just going to cut them off. You can save these, put them in salads. And I'll be back when I'm done. Okay, all the onions have been given the haircut all the way down the row. And probably in about a month or so, we'll come back and be giving them another one. I'm gonna go do the onion sets now too. The sets are in even more need of being trimmed back since they've really put on new growth. So just as I did with the others, I'll do here. Not quite sure how I have 2 stalks here from an onion, but okay. Here too, it's like the stems forked. I wonder what that portends. There we go. All the onions now have haircuts. Let's see those bulbs grow. Brussels sprouts continue to grow and look very healthy in here. And as you can see, they're coming up through each of the different rings of the tomato cages. So that should provide them plenty of support as they grow. And I think, let's see if you can see, there is something in there noshing on them, but damage isn't too substantial. So I'm not too concerned yet that there's something in there. The potatoes, I would say, are looking lush. You can see the cover is off of them. They were so crammed up against the insect netting that I took out the stakes that were holding the netting in, and just let it drape over the side. Within a day, they had pushed the netting up so that it was hanging up in the air about halfway up the stalk of the plant. And now with the windstorm that we had, it actually just blew it right off. So I can pull it back over so it's still covering them and may deter insects from getting in. But as you can see, they've grown so much that there's a good space between the ground and the edge of the netting, but that's okay. I think it would deter anyway the cabbage moth from getting into the cabbage. I don't think they would make it be able to fly through this dense forest here of growth. We have had 3 days of torrential downpours, so these have kind of fallen over to the side. As you can see, a couple of the branches have broken on them, but that's okay. Lots of healthy growth. Despite my crying a couple of weeks ago about too much water during the heat sapping the potatoes' strength, well, they're looking a heck of a lot better now, even with 3 days of downpours. So these are the Caribe back here, which seem to be leaping into growth compared to last week. And these are the white superiors down here. And a couple of russets. These are russets that I planted in the buckets. So they're looking good. Over here are Yukon Golds. Very healthy. And these are the red Nordlands, which after lagging, and if you remember, these were the ones that really got beat up by the surprise freezes that we got. I guess we really shouldn't say they're surprise, but they got slowed down by those freezing temperatures growing in the greenhouse, and now they've snapped back and really making up for lost time. And these are the Sharpo Mira, looking very good. As I've said, we've got the start of flower formation. Flowers just indicate, supposedly, that there's potatoes forming underneath. Plants don't have to get flowers to have potatoes, but the flowers typically signify that you've got potato formation underneath. So that's a good sign, I guess. And amongst even some of the laggards, they're starting to grow. This one didn't produce, so that we'll say is a failure, and that was a Sharpo Mira. That one's hanging on. And let me see about that one that failed on me completely. That was this one, yeah. Oh, but you know what? Look, we got a different one popped out. This is the one that had started to grow, then died, but a new one came up. So this must be the second potato that was planted in there. And this is what? This is a white superior. So looks like this one's still going to may end up producing a potato here. So that's good. I am concerned with my peas. I mean, you can see them in there, and they're starting to vine up, but just the dense growth that's occurring on either side of them is making it difficult, I think, for them to get sunlight. I just thought they would grow faster and be up above the other plants before the growth really started filling out on them, so they would get their light, but apparently not. This is the peas. So as you can see, the potatoes are really shading them out. So just might be a little too much growing in this garden here. Cabbage are looking good. Leaves look very healthy. Nice dark green color. So we should get 4 good heads out of this, which would be just sufficient for my needs. Okay, the Rutabaga is just ridiculous now. I mean, the growth on here is just crazy. And it looks like nice healthy stalks in here. So I'm excited to see what kind of root production we get from them. But yeah, certainly leaves are growing strong. And I don't want to be giving them any nitrogen or anything like that, or too much nitrogen, because I want root ball growth, not leaf growth necessarily. As feared, some of the broccoli is going to seed. They've bolted, and you can see the flowers have formed. Another one here. And it looks like this one is going to bolt as well. Now we still have like a tight head formation in there, so that's good. And over here we've got still a tight head formation. So not all of them yet, but certainly some of them are bolting. But that's okay, because we'll use it to save seed from them. Because we've got so many vegetables growing now, I decided to split this up into 2 videos again. This one today, obviously, is all the vegetables that we've got growing in the formal garden, the one with raised beds in it. Tomorrow, I have another video out showing the progress on the vegetables in all the various parts of the yard where I've got them growing, whether it's in barrels, tires, tucked in underneath fruit trees, wherever. But if you want to see what we were doing in the garden last week, check out this video right here, and then subscribe and hit that notification bell. And that way you can follow the progress on all of our vegetables as we try to grow a supermarket in our own backyard. Okay, thanks for watching.